There are three things that we do that are different than regular taught classes. First of all, we do a circle time where they go one at a time and they learn to take turns, number one. Number two, they're trying to learn the two-footed jump, which is really important for especially when they're falling off of something, to get their feet out in front of them. So we do the circle, blast off, and a ta-da, and we're teaching that one at a time in a circle. Then we do retrieval, cleanup, and gathering. We have some videos of that. And then always we do our trampoline time where we do our ABC songs and do a little bit extra.
Go up onto the block, Raiden. And we're going to count backwards. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Great! Now we're trying to see if they can follow directions. So we're going to do a little bit of a cleanup or a retrieval and bring back to mom or dad. So you guys are going to run over there, grab a cone, and bring it back to mom or dad. Go! Okay, go get it. Okay, one of those cones. Grab it. Bring it back.
Yay! Good job.
Retrieve all different kinds of objects, bean bags. You can say to go get shapes or colors. You start teaching them different things that help them identify these things. So have them run across, clean up, put it in a hoop, put it in a bucket, put it in a drawer, anything to help them clean up, and it helps figure those things out. Come bring it to mommy. Bring it to mommy.
Aurora, bring it to mama. Oh, Aurora, bring it over here.
The fun things that the kids love, and the cubs too, every once in a while we do this. It's called bacon or popcorn or earthquake. And so you go, oh, the pan is sizzling up, the pan is getting hotter, the pan is getting more violent. And then they could sit in a ball. Now sit up like this. Sit up like this. Yeah. Now we're videoing popcorn, and woo! Any kittens can jump 2 at a time because they're jumping little. If they're almost 3 and they're getting too powerful and they're going to jump into each other, no. The rule at Gymcats is 1 at a time. So that's the only time you can break the rule, is when they're so little that they're just able to jump at the same time and not hurt each other. So some of the challenges are starting to walk on the beam without mom or dad's hands. That's really, really hard. So you start on a low beam, but you keep holding their hand until they feel really comfortable. So that way they don't feel afraid of the beam. Excellent. That's excellent. The other thing you want to tell them is on the high beam, you always want your hands around their waist in case they step off. So if you're just holding their leg, you can yank them off and they can slide down the beam or get hurt. So you want to keep your hands close to their waist. So those are 2 things about walking on the beam. So some of the challenges are starting to above the bar, which is very hard, but just hanging down. And the next challenge is if you can put your feet up on the bar and do a spider. That's kind of hard too. So you're going to put your feet on the bar.
Like your shirt.
Like a spider. Woo! So that's.
We want to help parents be educated about what we're teaching and why, because we don't want to be just a play area for kids, because they can do that for free at the playground. First, we have socialization praise, so we want them to be able to take turns, let other kids go, and learn that process so when they go to school, they're able to socialize and interact better with other children. We want to teach about directions and following those directions. That gets them ready for school as well, so if they can follow sequences and patterns. We want to teach about body parts. Do you know where your elbow is, your knees, your toes? Can you reach for your toes? All of those kinds of things. We start to learn colors and shapes. Can you find me the blue circle? What about the yellow star? You know, we want to teach about those shapes and colors and patterns. Also, teaching about consent. So this is something for the parent to learn, and that's that they do not want to force or pressure kids to do something they're afraid of. Because what that does, that force or pushing them to do something before they're mentally or emotionally ready for it, it teaches them that they can get abused later on in life. So we want to make sure that they learn consent and that the kid is saying, it's okay for me to try this now, not someone else pressuring you to do it. We want to learn to follow sequence pattern, and that helps with reading readiness. So remind parents of that. And then musical movement. It helps with emotions and understanding storylines. So that's another thing that we're teaching. So overall, lots of learning going on, and this will show up later on in their life.